Hi, I didn't see you there.
My name's Katie.
My name is Miranda Evian.
My name's Chris Likas.
My name is Megan Cronin.
Dano Truba.
My name is Sterling Grant III.
I'm Jeff Cowell, and I'm co-associate creative director to the other co-associate creative director. Together we make a whole associate creative director.
Paul Jomek.
Nathan Paulinelli.
It's Alicia Chavez.
I'm Jenny Jensen. I work at Rick Johnson & Company, where I'm the production manager.
I'm captain of the cheerleader squad.
I work in the account services department. I'm an account coordinator.
I work in the creative department because it's the best department.
I work in the account management department.
I work with Sterling Productions, which is a subsidiary of Rick Johnson & Company.
Associate art director.
Try to write headlines and stuff like that.
This was my Christmas bonus.
I work in the media department.
I saw an ad in the paper, and so I came here and I started in the studio, and I kind of worked my way up into the art direction position.
I kind of just fell into this job.
So basically, nepotism is how I got my job.
Okay, but I'm going to be looking at him. I have a terrible profile, like really bad.
I've been here 6 months, so this is my first and hopefully not my last.
I didn't really decide to go into advertising. It just kind of came to me working some design jobs, and I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I somehow ended up here in the studio, and I decided I like it.
Is this thing on? Because sometimes I sweat. Is it okay?
And I didn't choose it, it chose me.
I didn't decide to go into advertising. It was kind of decided for me.
And I don't know that anyone chooses to work in a creative department. I think it's fate.
And I've been here for a year and two, something like that. Time goes by fast.
Well, I was originally a PR major, and I decided to take an advertising class as an elective.
Well, I was actually going to become a used car salesman before I got into advertising. That was one of my other career paths I was choosing.
And you come to love it because there's no structure, and there are very few rules, no manners whatsoever, and there's no restriction on dirty language. It's a great way to pass 8 hours a day, 5 days a week.
Swearing.
Well, I was a big fan of comic books and subsequently illustration.
Well, I was in school for public relations in college, and it kind of sucked. I switched over and decided to go into advertising.
I worked in radio promotions and radio TV promotions.
Chemistry and biology, and I'm like, oh my God, I can't be a nutritionist. That's crazy.
I went into advertising after I realized that graphic design didn't pay
A lot of my illustration heroes like Alex Ross, Neil Adams, they all had to make money somehow. So they went ahead and got jobs doing commercial storyboards and working in advertising, and I saw, hey, that there was a steady paycheck.
I'm a media planner buyer at Rick Johnson & Company. Should I be looking, does it matter?
Yeah, wherever you want. That crazy look that you're doing, like all around, that was good.
Wait, I have a really bad profile.
Yes, I have a degree from UNM in history, a minor in criminology. And so those relate to advertising in lots of ways. I don't want to get into it now, though.
My film and broadcast experience came actually through the military. I was a documentary filmmaker for the United States military, making propaganda broadcast videos for them and filming everything that the military was doing here and in Asia and in Southern Europe. So that's my background, that's my training. So I went to film school actually in the military.
I got my degree in marketing from the Anderson Schools of Management cum laude, that is.
My degree is in public relations and Spanish from UNM.
I went to Brainco. It's a portfolio school in Minneapolis.
I got my degree in advertising art and illustration at the Art Center Design College, and was introduced to a lot of the digital design / illustration techniques that we use these days.
Archaeology. Makes sense, doesn't it?
I majored in accounting, and yeah. This is sucking so bad.
I'm actually still at UNM. I'm getting my degree in art history.
Visual communications is a name that my university changed about 4 times while I was getting my degree. I think they just thought it sounded good, you know, we're communicating with visuals.
I went to Tyler School of Art, which is a little known school that nobody really knows about or cares that much about, but I liked it. It was good.
Yeah.
I'm serious about the profile.
Being a producer-director, basically I produce and direct.
Couldn't wear the tie to work, so I had to find a job where I could wear tennis shoes and hoodies.
I was in school and I worked on the account side, and it was pretty miserable.
I think that's important.
I'm a media buyer, so I chose to work with the radio stations on the advertising side as well. So it was a good correlation from my past experience.
So we're responsible for TV and radio, and sometimes industrial videos, seeing it through from the concept, helping get it through from its concept to its final product.
I tried to produce rather tasty designs, but you know, you always get a little junky in there every once in a while.
I don't want to discourage anyone.
I wanted to do something where I was interacting with clients, but also that was a bit administrative, little creative. I knew I wasn't creative enough to go in the creative department, but still wanted to be part of the process.
I talked to a friend of mine who was also an artist, and she was, you know, making money and doing cool stuff, and I was like, well, what do you do? And she was like, well, I'm an art director at an ad agency. And I was like, there you go, that's what I want to be.
And I pretty much am one of the go-betweens between the client and the company, helping keep everyone on the same page.
My first advertising job, I was the promotions director for a radio station here in town. And I did radio station remotes and giveaways and concerts and club promotions and long hours, long weekends.
I got into advertising a long time ago. Not that long ago, you know, but long enough that. I'm sorry, what was I saying?
What do I like most about working in advertising? Well, it's not the paycheck, and it certainly isn't the perks. And it must be because the people never bore you, and that counts for a lot when you're doing it 40 hours a week.
I love it. It's pretty cool. It's not boring. Creative department is pretty cool, and the fun committee.
I like the laid-back atmosphere of the advertising agency. There's not so much pressure to be at work at a certain time and leave at a certain time. You kind of just come in and do your job.
And what do you like least?
Don't tell Rick that, by the way, because there are set hours.
Besides being able to bring my dog to work on Friday, which is a pretty big perk, I like working in advertising because I like my job and I have fun at it, my job, and I enjoy working with the people and being creative and being myself and not having to pretend to be somebody else for something. Yeah, I don't know.
My favorite thing about working in advertising is definitely the are good too.
Free coffee.
What I like most about working in advertising is definitely No, wait, here, do that again.
I get a chance to work on many different formats. I get to work on billboards. I get to work on some digital web stuff. I get to work on some production behind the scenes, concept art like storyboards.
My favorite thing about advertising probably is the fact that I get to draw pictures a lot. Yeah.
I think my favorite part about today was that last night I got a fish pump for my fish, and I have a goldfish out there, and I feed it every day, and now it's going to have fresh air to breathe, and it won't die.
It's different every single day. Even if I'm sitting in this chair editing a commercial, it's always different. The challenges are different, the clients are different, the expectations are different. Everything that we do is every day is a new challenge. Something's different, which is exciting because it's not monotonous. It doesn't get boring.
I'm not very inspirational.
That's the best part, is working with other creative people and coming up with solutions to, advertising emergencies.
You know, you get to come to work, you have fun, you get to be creative all day, and drink a lot of water.
I don't need to be inspirational to be a copywriter. I just need to not suck. So.
Essentially, I convince millions of people to buy things they really don't need. That's good.
Having to track my time in 15-minute increments is probably something I like the least. And kitchen day.
The thing that I probably hate most about working in advertising is definitely the clients.
I don't dislike anything, really. I don't.
The stress. I'm a bit of a stress head, so I get stressed out with deadlines and getting it all done, but it's probably part of the appeal also.
My least favorite thing about advertising, well, I don't know. It's kind of pointless.
I sound like an 8-year-old little boy.
No.
Do I sound like a manly woman?
When you do that.
No.
If you're going to come into this industry, there's no room for screwing off.
There's so many people who come out of film schools and they don't know anything. They're just taught the basics, or they're taught, elementary, filmmaking, and then to get into it, it's like they have to relearn everything over again once you're actually in the business. And I think it's probably the same for a lot of different aspects: copywriting, management, business. Once you get into the workplace, then really I feel like that's where your school really starts.
My goal here is for the ladies and gentlemen in the audience, and for the youngsters out there, is to turn up the hope. Turn it up.
The things that are most important in anybody's book, it doesn't matter whether you're young or whether you've been at it for a while, is you need to be able to show consistency and quality. You need to be able to show a true understanding of the challenges of whatever it is you're advertising, understanding the product, understanding who you're talking to, and talking in a language that is relevant to them. And whenever possible, you want to use naked people.
It's not often the cameras are turned on me.
Right. How do you like being in front of the camera?
I find it somehow.
Really, the whole reason why I got into it in the first place was because of this pink stapler. It really motivated me. And it motivates me on a daily basis, actually.
Yay, RJC!
Cut.
I say that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry.